You get evaluated on your speaking and find out what you did well and find out where you need areas of improvement. So the first section is the planned speeches, and the first speaker is somebody that has been a member here since February of 2007, and that is Ann Taylor, speaking people who need, oh wait a minute, your evaluator, which is Jim. Could you please tell us what Ann is going to do?
Yes, sir. Ann will wow us and absolutely blow our socks off with one of her wonderful speeches. I don't have a manual to utilize as the source of the objectives, so she will entertain us with her humor, her poise, and her just fantastic delivery. It's Toastmaster.
And it's 10 to 12 minutes long. Title is People Who Need People. People Who Need People, Ann Taylor.
People who need people are the luckiest people in the world. Until they get on your nerves. But aren't those exactly the people who need a waymaker, a mentor, an example, a leader? Toastmaster fellow members, honored guests, happy September 28, 2016, the only September 28, 2016 ever. The impact of body language in leadership and life. People to people are the luckiest people in the world. Are leaders who are given the opportunity to inspire. Today, my goal is to inspire you to be more body conscious, body awareness. And my goal is to impress you on the urgency today. Act like success. Charles Darwin says that the strongest nor the smartest will be the ones that survive among us. It will be the persons most responsive to change. Charles Darwin. Amy Cuddy, who I'll share more about later, says our bodies shape who we are. And for some of us, but our bodies shape who we are. Fact. We have 5 seconds before someone is making a judgment about us. You have 5 seconds before someone is making an impression about what you're doing. 5 seconds. Second fact. Over 50% of what you say to the world is non-verbal. 5 seconds, over 50%. Can we say judgment? Yes. We've all made judgments about someone that has later found out to be false. That we found out later to be false. But it's how our brain processes information. Should I run? Is the person confident? Are they poised? Are they prepared? Are they nervous? Are they prey in the sexual trafficking world? Your body language shapes who you are. In 2006, I needed and sought some therapy. And the person was perfect for me. And I refer to her often in my presentations and when I'm working with women. She said, Ann, you are arrogant. She went on to say that arrogancy comes from overbearing pride. still went over my head. I heard some but for me it went over my head. I understood pride, evidently. And she went on to say that overbearing pride comes from overbearing shame. And I immediately connected to what she was saying. I had a heart-to-heart with myself. I was able to step out of myself and see the presence that she saw, and evidently the world saw. And it was important for me to eliminate things that didn't serve me. Obviously, when as a child, the arrogancy served me as a protective measure. But as a leader, it is not serving me. And I was at a ceiling, and I didn't know why. And I was very unhappy in my life, and I didn't know why. So I decided to start a quest to match my insides with my outsides. Balance. Alice Walker says, the easiest way that people give up their power is believing they don't have any. Oh, juicy. That hits me in the heart. So my goal, after hearing this and internalizing it in my innermost being, was to have balance in my life. Confidence, yes, but also approachability, the ability to send empathy, and to be a leader that operates with the door open rather than the door closed. I wanted people to be comfortable telling me, no, that's why everybody gets along until you don't get along. It's not a problem until it's a problem. If you become too friendly with your coworkers and peers, and then something happens, there are several tools that I'll share with you today. The most important being posture. Posture, poise, and presence. As I struggled to decide what direction, what journey to take, as I researched, I became more and more and more interested in the science of body language, which started with Charles Darwin as theory, but later proved by Amy Cuddy and many other professors and researchers that our bodies really do shape who we are because it's our attitude. If you change your attitude, you have the ability to change your performance. If you think differently, you believe differently, you act differently. First impressions are not only posture, poise, and presence, but it's facial expressions. Eye contact, smiling. If I smile at you, usually you smile back at me. Smiling. But the most important leadership skill that people often neglect to realize is intentional and active listening. If you are a manager in any capacity and an employee comes to you with an issue, listen. Personal story. I am in the middle of a closing. The bank is very unresponsive. So I tweeted, Regions Bank. I said their name out loud. And within 5 minutes, I received a phone call wanting to know what they could do to ease the situation. And the lady was very well trained. Yes, Miss Taylor, I understand. So much so that I stopped talking and she didn't say anything. That's training. That's diffusing the situation. So keep in mind that your nonverbal, your silent message is being communicated 5 seconds, and it's over 50% of what we say. Posture, poise, and presence. Amy Cuddy changed my life. Amy Cuddy is a TED Talk, Harvard PhD. If you're not familiar with TED Talks, TED Talks, it's a wealth of information about every topic in the world. Amy Cuddy just at the beginning of her collegiate career, suffered a traumatic brain injury. Being an A-plus student, an A-plus personality, she recognized that people responded to her differently before the accident, even though her brain worked fine, but her body was still weak. And her body sent a signal of possibly incompetence, sort of like someone who has MS or a brain disorder that prevents them from talking and using their body, but their brains are fine. But yet you talk to them like they don't understand. But it has nothing to do with their lack of ability to understand. It's your lack of ability to notice their posture, their eye contact, their communicating with you, right? Posture, poise, and presence. Amy Cuddy says if you stand like this, and if I'm in one of my sessions, we'd hear Superwoman music. Da 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 da! I started using that from the Olympics, the gentleman from Jamaica. Like that. So if you will stand. This is what Amy Cuddy suggests on a daily basis. To stand in the mirror as a posture pose. This does several things. It feels good. And if you're looking in the mirror, please. Yes, thank you. And if you're looking in the mirror and you're talking to yourself, self-talk is very important. If you're not telling yourself that you're fantastic, that you're capable, that I want to achieve more than I have right now. That's what we do in Toastmasters. We are very persistent in our pursuit of becoming better communicators. This says, 2 minutes a day, Amy Cuddy. What you receive, testosterone goes up. Testosterone is what you need to be confident. Testosterone goes up. Standing in a posture pose for 2 minutes a day, I do it when I'm brushing my teeth. Cortisol goes down. Cortisol goes down, that's anxiety and stress. This is not theory. You can sit. This is not theory. It's the science of body language. That if I tell myself I'm capable, I am capable. If I tell myself that I belong, I belong. If I tell myself I don't belong, I don't belong. I was painfully shy as a young person, and people thought lack of eye contact was cockiness, when it was actually shyness. If you are encountering employees who are walking into the office as if it's the end of the world, they're not making any eye contact, they're not saying hello. It could be other issues. It is within context. But often it's a signal that I feel uncomfortable in this situation. And as leaders, as potential leaders, that is what we do. Poise is the equilibrium where we get the balance in our life. Presence is the charisma that you have been divinely given. Marian Anderson, but often quoted Nelson Mandela, says, as I let my light shine, I automatically allow you the same privilege. I give you the same privilege. Shine. Posture, poise, and presence. Implementing those 3 tools today will immediately up your game and you'll get noticed. How do you choose a leader? What leader do you want to emulate? People to people are not the easiest people in the world. But those are exactly the people that need you as a leader. Toastmaster.
Sit there and visualize, if I'm standing like this in the mirror, before I brush my teeth.
And it's really a mental attitude. Whether you're using the runners, it's really your self-talk. It's not so much the stance; it's what you're saying to yourself. Right on. That's how I do it, actually.
Let's take a minute. If people, if you have any notes or anything that